Beyond the gate, spoilers tease that Nicole finally corners Smitty about the strange distance growing around him lately, not in an angry explosion, but in a quiet, uncomfortable moment that almost feels worse than yelling, because the silence between them keeps stretching and stretching until Smitty realizes he cannot dodge the conversation anymore. Nicole has been watching him for days, maybe longer, noticing the late nights, the vague answers, the strange tension in his eyes every time his phone vibrates, and she hates the feeling that something important is happening around her, yet she is the only one not allowed to understand it. It bothers her more than she expected. She tries to sound calm when she begins speaking, but the frustration leaks through anyway. Uneven sentences, pauses where she seems to reconsider her words. Yet she continues because she has already started, and there is no way to pretend nothing is wrong anymore. Nicole says she has noticed that Smitty barely spends time at home recently, always rushing somewhere, always distracted, and she cannot stop thinking about something Kat mentioned earlier. Kat had accidentally seen Smitty meeting Jacob in secret. Not a casual meeting either. They were whispering, exchanging something, papers maybe, information maybe, but when Kat approached, they immediately changed the subject. That moment has been sitting in Kat's mind like a small thorn, not painful enough to panic, yet irritating enough that she mentioned it to Nicole during a casual conversation. At first, Nicole tried not to read too much into it. People meet, people talk, secrets happen. But when she started noticing Smitty's behavior becoming stranger day by day, the thought refused to leave her mind. What exactly are Smitty and Jacob doing? Nicole does not accuse him directly. Not yet. But the tension is there when she says she knows he has been meeting Jacob more often than usual. The words land awkwardly in the room. Smitty stiffens slightly, just a tiny movement, but enough to confirm something is definitely wrong. Nicole notices it immediately. She always notices these things. She asks again, softer this time, but more serious. Why are you meeting him secretly? Why can't anyone know about it? And that is when Smitty feels the weight of the situation pressing down on him harder than ever before. Because the truth is dangerous. Not dramatic dangerous like gossip or scandal, real dangerous. The investigation Jacob is working on is not some minor case. It is an illegal plasma trafficking operation spreading wider than anyone first believed. The network is large, organized, and ruthless. Jacob has been forced to go undercover just to get close to the people running it. Every move has to be careful. Every conversation must remain hidden. One mistake, one careless word, and Jacob's life could be in serious danger. Smitty knows all of this, but Nicole cannot know. So when she looks at him expecting an explanation, hoping for something honest, Smitty suddenly finds himself trapped between loyalty and love. If he protects the investigation, he risks damaging his relationship with Nicole. If he tells Nicole the truth, he risks destroying the operation and possibly putting Jacob in danger. Neither option feels right. He hesitates too long. Nicole notices that hesitation in her expression slowly changes. Not anger at first, something closer to disappointment. She reminds Smitty that recently Martin has been feeling guilty because work keeps him away from family so often. Nicole had defended Martin before, saying sometimes responsibilities demand sacrifice, but now she cannot ignore the irony. Because lately Smitty is the one disappearing all the time, the one who never seems available anymore, the one who always says he is busy with something important, yet refuses to explain what that something actually is. Smitty tries to respond, but the words come out messy, clumsy. He says, "This case is complicated, dangerous, something that requires total focus. That is the only explanation he can safely offer." Nicole listens, but it is not enough. She asks again, quieter this time, if the case is the real reason, or if there is something else he is hiding. Maybe not intentionally, but still hiding. She hates feeling like she has become an outsider in her own relationship. Smitty looks at her, and for a moment he almost tells the truth. Almost. But Jacob's face flashes in his mind. The risks, the warnings, the reminder that this entire operation depends on silence. So instead, Smitty simply says, he cannot talk about it right now. He hopes she will trust him. That is all he can ask. Nicole does not answer immediately. The room becomes strangely heavy, because trust is complicated when secrets start piling up. She eventually nods, but the gesture feels uncertain. Maybe she understands. Maybe she only pretends to. Smitty cannot tell, and that uncertainty stays hanging between them long after the conversation ends. Meanwhile, the misunderstanding grows even deeper because Kat continues thinking about what she saw earlier. The image of Smitty and Jacob whispering together still does not make sense to her. They looked tense, almost nervous, like people who knew they should not be seen. Kat is not the type to jump to wild conclusions, but she also cannot ignore instinct. Something about that meeting felt wrong. She wonders if Nicole is aware of it. She wonders if Nicole is worried too. And in a strange way, Kat begins observing things more closely now. Small details others might overlook. A quick phone call that ends too quickly. A conversation that stops when someone enters the room. These fragments start forming a quiet puzzle in her mind. She does not know the full picture yet, but she senses something bigger happening under the surface. What she does not know is that the danger surrounding Jacob's investigation is already creeping closer than anyone realizes. While Smitty struggles to protect the secret operation, another conflict begins forming, somewhere else entirely. Vanessa and her daughter Deanna are approaching a confrontation that has been building slowly for weeks. Their relationship has always been complicated, but lately the tension has become impossible to ignore. The problem begins with control. Deanna feels like Vanessa has always tried to manage every aspect of her life, from career decisions to personal relationships, even small things that should belong only to Deanna herself. For a long time, Deanna tolerated it because she believed her mother's intentions were good. But patience has limits, and recently something happened that pushed those limits too far. Deanna discovered the truth about Heart Attach. The dating service that has been gaining attention everywhere, the one Vanessa casually recommends during conversations as if she has nothing to do with it, the one Deanna herself once considered trying out. Vanessa created it. When Deanna realized this, the reaction was immediate and intense. Not excitement, not pride, anger, because suddenly every suggestion Vanessa made about the app felt manipulative. Every conversation about relationships felt staged. Deanna could not shake the suspicion that her mother had been quietly trying to guide her toward using the service without admitting the truth. So when the confrontation finally happens, it explodes faster than Vanessa expects. Deanna accuses her of controlling everything, even something as personal as dating. Vanessa tries to explain that Heart Attach was never meant to trap anyone. It was supposed to help people connect, to offer options, to build opportunities for meaningful relationships. But Deanna refuses to listen. In her mind, the issue is not the app itself. It is the secrecy behind it. Why hide it? Why pretend it was just another random service when it was actually Vanessa's own creation? The argument grows messy. Voices rising, then dropping, then rising again, neither one communicating clearly anymore. And the situation becomes even more complicated because Vanessa's relationship with Joey has already created tension within the family. Danelle surprisingly supports the relationship. He believes Vanessa deserves happiness even if the circumstances are unconventional. But Deanna cannot accept it. She feels like Joey represents yet another example of Vanessa making decisions without considering how those decisions affect everyone else. For Deanna, the pattern is obvious. Vanessa builds systems, businesses, relationships, all carefully arranged around her own vision of how things should be. Everyone else simply adapts. Vanessa hears the accusation, but refuses to accept that interpretation. She insists that everything she has done, including Heart Attach, including her relationship with Joey, came from a place of wanting to build something meaningful, something strong, something that could actually help people. But Deanna only sees manipulation. And that disagreement fractures the room in a way neither of them expected. Later, when the emotional storm settles slightly, Vanessa finds herself needing someone to talk to, someone outside the family who might listen without judgment. That is when Nicole becomes the person Vanessa turns to. Not because Nicole has all the answers, but because Nicole understands what it feels like when relationships start twisting under the pressure of secrets and misunderstandings. Their conversation happens quietly, two people sharing frustration from completely different situations yet somehow recognizing the same emotional pattern. Nicole talks about Smitty becoming distant, about the strange meetings with Jacob, about the uncomfortable feeling that something important is being hidden from her. Vanessa listens carefully, sometimes nodding, sometimes offering small thoughts rather than big advice. And in return, Vanessa admits the conflict with Deanna is becoming worse than she expected. She never intended to push her daughter away, yet somehow that is exactly what seems to be happening. Both women sit there realizing something similar. Secrets, even well-intentioned ones, rarely stay contained. They leak into relationships. They change the way people look at each other. At the same time, another conversation is happening somewhere else. Donnell finds himself speaking with Kat about the tension between Vanessa and Deanna. He does not normally open up about family conflicts, but this time he seems unusually thoughtful, maybe even worried. He explains that Deanna's reaction surprised him. Yes, Vanessa can be controlling sometimes, but the anger Deanna showed felt deeper than just frustration about an app or a relationship. Kat listens carefully. She does not rush to judge either side. Instead, she asks questions, simple ones that encourage Donnell to examine the situation from different angles. Maybe Deanna is not only reacting to heart attach, maybe she is reacting to years of feeling like decisions were made around her rather than with her. Donnell considers that possibility quietly. It makes sense, though he is not sure how to fix it. Kat does not pretend to have a perfect solution, but she suggests something simple. Sometimes people only want to know their voice matters. Not after decisions are already made, but during the process itself. Maybe Vanessa needs to hear that. Donnell nods slowly. The advice does not solve everything, but it gives him something to think about. And while these personal conflicts unfold across different corners of their lives, the secret investigation continues, moving forward in the shadows. Jacob is getting closer to the heart of the illegal plasma trafficking operation, closer than anyone expected this quickly. But getting closer also means the risk is increasing. The people running the network are beginning to sense something unusual, a small shift in behavior, a missing piece of trust. They do not know exactly where the threat is yet, but they know it exists, which means the fragile balance Smitty is trying to maintain may not last much longer. And when the truth finally surfaces, when Nicole learns why Smitty has been acting so distant, when Kat realizes a secret she has been quietly investigating in her own mind connects to something far more dangerous than she imagined, the consequences will reach everyone involved. Because secrets never stay buried forever, not in this town, not in these relationships. Eventually, something breaks through the surface, messy and unexpected, leaving everyone to deal with the aftermath in ways they never prepared for.